We are talking about how interracial couples are actually treated in public.
It was so discriminatory. Let's just say it. It was racist as hell.
And this is where the story gets hot, y'all.
Yeah, we live together. She lives here.
He kind of looked at me like I'm this cuckoo woman trying to gain access.
It was horrible, honestly. I felt super uncomfortable.
She didn't once make eye contact with me, guys.
It felt like I was in like Get Out or something.
Honestly, there was some serious boss energy that I felt.
They need to get with the times because we're not living in ancient history here.
What if he thought I couldn't speak English?
That was not okay. Did that actually just happen?
Hi friends, hi babe.
Hi, baby. What are we talking about today?
Today, we are talking about how interracial couples are actually treated in public.
Yeah, I mean, how many times have we come home after being out and literally looking at each other and thinking, that was not okay? Did that actually just happen? I feel like there's so many stories, so we thought today would be a great opportunity to just go through some of the stories and create some awareness around some of the stuff that actually happens when you're out in public as an interracial couple.
Yeah, honestly, I've got so much to get off my chest, and I'm so happy that we get this opportunity to talk about all of this. But first, I want to start off with, within our own building. Like, I've experienced some serious, I would say, prejudice, some mistreatment from our own concierge here. And I want to get into that.
That was during one of our TikTok videos that we were filming, right? You got locked in the elevator, went down to the lobby, and then that's when it all happened?
Yeah, so crazy story. Mark and I were shooting our TikTok video, and I think it was the one where he actually mistakenly pulled my wig off. If you haven't seen it, so funny. But we had to play around in the elevator for a particular scene. And there was one scene where I mistakenly forgot to hit the elevator doors to reopen. So the doors closed and it took me back to level 1, which is our entrance level. And the only way to get back upstairs is to have a fob. And did I finally have a fob to get back upstairs? No, she did not. So then I thought to myself, okay, I can quickly go down. I don't have my phone with me. I can quickly go down, exit the building, and then buzz myself in, or at least buzz Mark to let me in. And I went outside and I buzzed and I tried to get a hold of Mark, but because I think Mark might have been away from his phone or out of the reception area where we were filming.
Yeah, there was no reception in the hallways.
No.
I actually went down to the lobby and peeked out, and then I didn't see you, so then I went back upstairs. Meanwhile, you went outside.
Yeah, I was outside, so you wouldn't have seen me. And I was outside trying to call you. It sends me back to voice message. I called you like about 3 times when someone else was entering the building. And I know that it's a bit of a security risk, but I was ready to like show proof that I stay here. So I told the guy that was entering, hey, I also stay here, but I happen to have forgotten my keys upstairs. Please, could you help me get, at least inside to speak to concierge? He helped me. I got inside and, I got in front of concierge, so embarrassed. And I was like, hi, I forgot my keys. Could you please help me get back upstairs? Right. And this is where the story gets hot, y'all. He looked at me like I was this complete stranger. Like he did not recognize me. In fact, he kind of looked at me like I'm this cuckoo woman trying to gain access to someone's apartment. And he was quite rude about how he addressed me. And he was like, if you could just wait for me by the seating area, I'll be with you in a couple of minutes. And I'm sitting to myself thinking, like, this is not the treatment that he gives Mark whenever, Mark addresses him.
But he also sees us all the time.
Yeah.
Like, he sees us all the time together. This is the guy that helped us with the whole storage locker thing. Mm-hmm. He's there all weekend.
Yeah.
Sees us come and go together. So, I mean, that's just insane.
Yeah. And when I'm with you, babe, he's always so nice. In fact, he's so nice to Mark that Mark's like, okay, this is all just so unnecessary. Like how he addresses you, he calls you sir, and all of these things.
It's very
right?
fake. It's very like, in the moment, and you can tell he's just trying to be super, nice on the surface, and then he treats you like this.
Yeah, I promise you, if it was Mark or someone else that had told him, hey, could you help me get back upstairs? I mistakenly forgot my keys. He would have dropped whatever he was doing, and he would have been like, okay, let me help you. Because all he really needed to do was just walk with me to the elevator, buzz me up if he knew I stayed there. So clearly he questioned whether I stayed there or not, because
It's a great question. I mean, there's been other instances with the same guy with the storage locker thing where we came up together and we handled all these things together. He saw you were right there. He knows, like, we'll come in sometimes to get packages, and we'll go up together to accept the package, and it'll be under your name, and it'll kind of like, he'll be like, is that for you? Or I've gone on myself to pick up a package for you, and it'll say your name, and he'll give me a look. It's like, yeah, we live together. She lives here. It's been like 6 months. And I feel like as a concierge, I know it's a big building and there's a lot of people, but it's kind of your job to know who roughly lives in the building. And the fact that we've seen them that many times and we've had like personal encounters with him, he's got to know that you live here. And that's just not acceptable.
Yeah, it's not acceptable. But, that's just another thing that, as an interracial couple, how we actually treat it in public. And we don't really talk about this a lot. No. But quickly going into, another example of like, something that we experienced, as an interracial couple, just taking a walk on the boardwalk, again, within our community, where we had, a woman stare us and stare me down. And at first I was like, okay, she's probably just curious because maybe she hasn't seen many interracial couples. I could kind of tell that maybe she's not from here or she just recently moved here. And, we get these stares quite a lot. But the thing is, they are different when they are lingering and the person has like almost like an upset facial expression.
Like she wasn't smiling, or it wasn't like a friendly stare. It was like a death stare.
Like a death stare, yeah. And the fact that her friend was talking to her while she was staring kind of gave me an indication that they were talking about us. And it clearly wasn't a positive thing, because why was your face the way that it was, right? But I had to take matters into my own hands, not do anything crazy, but like I stared her down. And
so you gave her back the staring treatment.
Yeah, but my face was a little bit more positive. Like I was smiling. And I think that was just an indication or something to let her know, like, hey, lady, you're staring at us.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
And sometimes that's what you have to do, right? You have to kill them with kindness, right? And almost kind of look back and say like, hi, yeah, we're here, we exist. Not sure what you're really staring at, but thanks for staring. And thanks for the attention, I guess. I don't know. But I thought you handled that really great, babe. It's a tough, it's never, it never gets old. We're always, getting eyeballs, good or bad, and eventually you just kind of become numb to it. I think at the start when we first started dating, it was very like you're hyper aware of every single instance. And now we're kind of like, I just tune it out, to be honest. Yeah. But, you're obviously very observant in some scenarios, and you caught that one.
Yeah. I love the fact that you mentioned good or bad, especially the good part, because I feel like this is a great opportunity to talk about something that, was a little bit more positive. We definitely loved this experience, and I really want to add it to how you're actually treated in public when we were in Kelowna.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we were in Kelowna and coming out of a restaurant, the sun was setting. It's like beautiful evening. We're just kind of walking out, and this couple we're walking right by this couple, and they stop and basically pull us aside and they said, you two are the most adorable couple or the most beautiful couple we have ever seen in our lives. And you can't help but just smile in those moments. And just, it's such a feel good moment. And that happens too. You know, you get very unexpected moments where people are just so kind and they're speaking out loud and they're telling you. And I mean, who doesn't want to hear that?
Yeah.
It's so amazing.
And because you get like a lot of, or you'll experience a lot of moments where people don't give you the best experience. When you do get moments like these, you know, you might get a little bit shy. You might not know how to properly behave or accept the compliment because you've experienced so many other negative interactions with people. But take this as a heads up. You'll get those positive interactions and smile, engage with them because they are your friends. They are giving you good compliments. And in this world, you definitely want to walk and you want to be around in an environment where you get more positive compliments than negative compliments. And I honestly, we wouldn't be able to recognize that couple should we see them today.
Oh, I know. No. But it's like you said, you almost kind of have, in those moments, you're almost you're almost ready for it to be a bad experience because of all, you know, just the staring and the people in general just having thoughts or opinions. But it's always a pleasant surprise when it is something just truly amazing and positive. I think, you know, if you had it your way, you would be like almost wondering, I wonder what made them say that, or I wonder what made them think that, right?
Yeah. I'm so curious that I think I wanted to ask them then and there, like, you know, why, you know, but I feel like that might have come across a little bit rude, right? So I guess I didn't.
We'll leave it to the imagination.
Yeah, we will. Mark and I really enjoy going to restaurants, some fine dining sometimes because they really cater to our dietary needs.
They do.
And we have some stories with, you know, just the dining scene from Vancouver, New West, and even Whistler, the funniest of all. And yeah, babe, why don't you tell me about the Whistler experience?
Yeah, I mean, we love Italian restaurants. And this one in particular, just incredible menu. You know, we're, as Afani said, quite picky on some of the stuff that we cook at home and the ingredients that we use. So we chose this restaurant, and yeah, we got there, and it was very interesting. You know, right from when you're greeted to taken to your table, it's very much a one-way conversation. You know, everything is more or less addressed to me. Everything from, you know, the menu specifically kind of pointing in my way to, you know, when they're describing the features. I remember he was like describing the feature and pretty much just like locking with me, coming back to ask if we're ready for drinks or wine, asking me. From when the food came out, sir, how's it tasting? I'm thinking, well, she's also right here. I wonder what she thinks of the food. It was just a one-way street, and I guess that's what some restaurants or servers think is the traditional way of doing things. But it was horrible. Honestly, I felt super uncomfortable. I know we talked about this after the dinner, and it was it's too bad because I actually really like the restaurant. And I'm almost debating whether we ever go back. So yeah, I mean, how did you feel in that moment?
I'm not an out to lunch type of girlfriend. Like, I like to be involved. I like to be included in things. I like to also be asked what my preference and all of that is. So that definitely did make me feel some type of way. But now that I think about it, and you're going to laugh at this, right? And it's so wrong, but like, what if he thought I couldn't speak English?
Whoa.
Have you ever thought of it that way?
I've never thought of it that way, but you can't assume. That's...
I mean, well, he assumed that, you know, you would be making my dinner choices and my drink choices. So I feel like it's only fair for me to assume that he probably thought that I couldn't speak English properly. You know?
And he thinks I just have like Google Translate right here, like trying to communicate with you throughout the dinner.
I mean, that's the worst case scenario, right? But like, I mean, we can't ever really put ourselves in a case where we ask people why are they doing the things that they're doing. And we can't always assume that they know how offensive whatever it is that they're doing is, right? And I guess that's where ignorance comes in. But like, I think you handled that situation so well. You're just like, yeah, I'm here with my girl. I'm here for the food. I'm here for the drinks. Like, it is what it is, right? Unless I step up and I'm like, hey, babe, like, could we talk to this person? I feel like you would also be able to like, okay, yeah, let's do that, right?
Definitely. And I guess to play devil's advocate, there's probably people out there or couples out there that might prefer how he went about his business, right? There's probably couples out there, interracial couples potentially, I don't know, that have this like hierarchy of some sort where maybe the server thinks that, you know, that's the right way to do it. And maybe that's what the couple prefers. I don't know, right?
Yeah.
Who knows? It's more just, it's interesting looking at different sides of things. I'm not obviously defending him at all. I was disgusted by
Yeah.
how the interactions went and how he treated us. But it's definitely interesting looking at the different angles.
Yeah. Quick question here, right? Do you also think that maybe certain interracial couples would be like, you know, you're white, I'm black. If we're going to go to a restaurant and it's a predominantly white restaurant or predominantly black restaurant, then one of us will take the lead on it. So maybe that's how they see it. Okay, it's so wrong for them to see it, but like maybe that's how other couples would do it. So if we go to a restaurant that's predominantly black, I'm going to speak, and the server is black, of course, because you can't assume that predominantly black means that the servers are also going to be that. But do you think that maybe some couples would do that? And do you think that's actually better for them?
That's really interesting. We've never talked about this. I mean, imagine we're in Cape Town and we go to a predominantly black restaurant and the server comes up and, you know, I don't think I don't have an issue at all. I mean, you're from there, they're vibing with, you know, the local, so to speak. So I'll just chill and be along for the ride, baby.
Yeah. But it would be respectful if they at least address both of us until they see that you do not want to speak to them, right?
That's what I'm getting at, I think. And I think that's the main point. Be inclusive. And if one is not engaging with you, no problem, right? If he was inclusive, talking to both of us, and you're just like, you men sort out the dinner details, then sure, right? But if you're engaging and you're building rapport, then how is he to know? He can't assume that only one person wants to be included. So
Yeah.
And you had another, I mean, not another, there's many other instances locally here. You know, we have another Italian restaurant like a couple blocks from our place. And because we love Italian, we want to be able to go there a lot because it's like we can literally just walk there. But as much as it's super close and it's so convenient and the menu's good and the food's pretty good, there's always something, I feel like. There's always something, whether it's, you know, the host.
Oh, the host.
Let's hear about it. So
That's
there it is.
a hot one. Yeah, so sometimes Mark and I will go to a restaurant and either he'll speak to the host or I will speak to the host. You know, it really, like, it is what it is. This particular day, I had the energy and I was like, yeah, I'm going to speak to the host and I'm going to tell them where we prefer to be seated or tell her where we prefer to be seated. And yeah, things are going to go well. So we showed up at the restaurant. We don't make reservations because, like, why? Right? If they don't want us, we'll just go back home and cook at home, right? So we went in, I spoke to the host and I told her where we wanted to be seated. And every single time she spoke back to me, or at least every single time she spoke back, she looked at Mark. She addressed Mark. So it's like me walking in and saying, hi, and she's like, table for two, and I'm like, yes, and then she's grabbing the menus, and then she will maybe look at Mark and she'll be like, okay, follow me. And she didn't once make eye contact with me, guys. She took us to the seating area, and you know, as she was putting the menus down, she would be addressing Mark. She'll look at Mark and everything, and then she left. That woman did not look at me once. And I was the one that had initially addressed her and told her where we needed to be seated. Like, horrible. What was that?
Just terrible. I feel like that's not an isolated event. I mean, there are some, I think it really depends on anywhere you go, right? There's going to be people that just are super kind, respectful, and there's going to be those that are just not, and they don't understand it. It's not necessarily a reflection on always the brand or the restaurant, but it's the person. It's the person, right? I mean, how many times have you also been there where we sit at the bar? The bartender's like the nicest dude ever.
Yeah.
He remembers our order. He is there.
He addressed us both.
he dressed us both. He builds rapport with both. He knows, what we're into there, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's all these other stories of you just getting completely ignored. I think you went there one time with your sister, and it was even worse.
It was worse. Like no one catered. Like they took so long to like check up on us, get us our pizza, get us our drinks. It was so bad. My sister initially wanted to have her birthday party, her 20th, 20th,
2-0, big 2-0.
Yeah, her 20th birthday party at this place. After we had that experience, she was like, nah, it is not happening here, because like imagine she shows up and like maybe half her friends are black and they treat them like that, and she's bringing business right to them, because like it's not cheap to host something there. So like yeah.
And you were so excited to like show off this restaurant. She was telling you about your birthday plans, and you're like, oh, I have the perfect place. It's right by ours. And then of course I get a text from you. I think I was at the tennis club, and I get a text from you, and you're like, yeah, it didn't go so well at the restaurant. I'll tell you about it later.
Yeah. I kind of get a little bit scared sometimes when I go to restaurants without you, babe, because I'm like, okay, what's the worst experience I'm about to receive? But it doesn't stop me from going. I still go. But it's just, I gotta be prepared for the worst.
I gotta say, babe, you handle all these situations with the utmost grace and confidence and elegance. You never stoop down to other people's levels. And I think you always also give people the benefit of the doubt in cases where it's like, okay, were they meaning a certain way or were they not? You always just find the good in people. And I love that about you.
Yeah, like sometimes people might be having a really tough day and it might not be me. It might just be whatever they've gone through, right? Yeah. But going back to the ones that actually do it intentionally, and they serve us this entire time with this whole energy of like, I'm not going to speak to this, girl, I'm going to speak to you, right? And then they find out at the end that I'm actually the one paying for the bill.
Oh, this is always the best. I always remember this one. Never forget the rooftop story, where same thing, right? He's really just, it's like he's whining and dining me basically. And then the bill comes and, classic, it's put in front of me. And Afani's like, yeah, I'll actually grab that. And he came by, and I think he even put the machine in, and you're like, yeah, I'll just, I have my card over here. And he's like, oh, okay, sure. Snooze, you lose, too late. How did you handle that one?
I mean, honestly, there was some serious boss energy that I felt. But at the end of the day, like, he didn't give us a terrible service. I obviously didn't tip him as generously as he would have, should he have treated us as equals, right? But yeah, I gave him something because like we had everything that we needed. He did take care of our table quite well. Yeah. So that's just how you deal with it, right?
Totally. And I think you touched on a very important point. A lot of the times they are friendly. They just don't know. They're just not thinking properly, or no one has like actually created this awareness. It's like subconscious almost, where that's just the way they think it's supposed to go, but it's not. And a lot of cases it's just not, it's wrong, and they need to get with the times because we're not living in ancient history here.
Speaking of getting with the times, do you want to tell us about the private club story and how outrageous that experience was?
Yeah, it felt like I was in like Get Out or something. It took me off guard too. I was in total shock. So we're at one of these private spaces and kind of like a common area. It's all white folks. You're the only black person there. You're with me. And we've done the whole sign in and everything, and everything's great. We're just having a good time, enjoying the space. And all of a sudden, one of their staff came up to us and kind of, kneeled down to like, so they could talk to us and not create a big scene. Well, guess what? They created a scene and really questioned if you were with me, or, are you kind of signed in? Are you my guest? And I was just totally taken off guard. It's like we'd already gone through this whole process, and I didn't see any other black people there. She wasn't going over to anyone else.
Yeah,
just to us.
And the thing about that, before she came to us, any person in that space would have clearly known that we were together. Like, I was like, that was my first time there.
Yeah.
Like, I was not speaking to anyone else. Every single space that we were, like, we could be together. Like, if it's not the men's and women's section, then we would be together. So clearly I was, you know, with you.
It was so discriminatory. It was, let's just say it, it was racist as hell. It was like so out of bounds. And yeah, I thought I handled it. I tried to just be a bit of the bigger person. I didn't create a huge scene, but we just went through the protocols. And yeah, you know, I know we talked about it later. You know, if that ever happens again, we would, you know, escalate that situation to, you know, the people that need to know about it.
Yeah.
But guys, I was so taken back. That was just, it's an awful situation. I remember after that, we just felt horrible. It felt like, I mean, how did you feel in that moment, babe?
I was embarrassed. Everyone was looking at us. I felt like an outsider. And we laugh about it now because we're past it. But should we go through an experience like that again, it would be a little bit triggering.
Oh, 100%.
You know?
For sure. I mean, I can only imagine what you felt at that moment because, I mean, I honestly, I can't even describe how I felt in that moment. It was just so wrong and so just horrible. I felt horrible for you, I think, first and foremost, that you had to experience that. And I just felt like I had to kind of protect you in that moment, you know? And I don't think we stayed there very long. And I'm pretty sure we debated not going back for a long time.
Yeah.
Because it's just, that is like the epitome of, you know, prejudice and racism. And that's not right.
It's not okay.
Right.
On TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube, and all these social media platforms, you'll see interracial couples and they will just look like the cutest thing ever and just so well accepted. They're getting millions of views, so many likes, so many comments and all of that. But we've just given you guys a rundown of just things that interracial couples actually face, you know, and some of it was good, but a lot of it is quite bad. And that's just the reality of things.
It is just the reality, you know. I think the objective of us just sharing these stories is to create awareness, really. Just create awareness. For any of you that are maybe in similar situations, you never know when something's going to happen, right? You know, don't be super reactive. Be the bigger person and have the hard conversations with the right people if you need to. And yeah, that's just the reality of being in an interracial couple.
Yeah.
And it's never going to stop. And we have some other crazy stories as well that we're going to be sharing with you guys in the next videos.
Yeah. So thanks for having this chat with me, babe. And thank you so much for also watching. And yeah.
So much fun.
Yeah, we hope to see you guys soon in our next podcast.
See you guys in the next one.